Hey guys, this is Brad from Dallas Geek, and I'm here today with
BritishPixie Cosplay.
And we're here talking about her cosplay and her journey thus far in the cosplay community. So, how'd you get into cosplay?
I was a theater major for backstage theater stuff, so I've been crafting and building sets and things like that for my major, and then it transitioned into making costumes just because for Halloween, and then it just kind of evolved.
I would say this would count as a massive evolution.
Victor, this is Victor. He's my Venus Flytrap from inspired by Little Shop of Horrors as your theater background.
Very nice. So, I've been following you online for a while, and it does seem like you have a pretty massive variety of cosplays that you've had a chance to do. I mean, everything from your nerdy boudoir to, I think probably the most complex I've seen was your Night Sister. I mean, that looks like it was a massive thing to put together.
Yeah, I have a variety. I like to, so I sew. So Night Sister is complete fabric sewn from head to toe. But then I have armored pieces. So I have working with plastics and Sintra. So there's a lot of different types. I've got ones I've got aerial sail dress where it's literally a curtain.
Yeah.
That I just sewed 2 stitches in and was it's done. And then there's the ones where Harley Quinn where it's every piece is handmade. And then David, which is Palma Technologies, has all my leather work.
Okay.
So I am currently sitting at my table sewing a Han Solo holster while he hammers on leather next to me. So
very nice.
He does all my leather work, which I don't do that one. So
sure.
It works, so.
Sure. So, of all the different cosplays that you've done, what's been the most complicated to create?
Probably Harley. Purely because with the Arkham Knight version, there is layer upon layer. There's a shirt, there's a bodice over the shirt, there's a corset over the shirt, then there's the skirt, and there's 3 layers to the skirt. I made the petticoat to go underneath it.
Oh, wow.
I made it for the Master Cosplay contest at Dallas Fan Expo.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do 99% of it. I think the only thing that wasn't handmade on that costume was the tights, which I bought because I can't screen print a pair of leggings.
Okay.
But head to toe, I had to change the shoes, I had to restud them, I had to dye the wigs, I had to do it all. So Harley is probably the most in-depth, but Steampunk Ariel was pretty in-depth too, because that was complete original design.
Okay.
So, and her skirt comes off so that she has legs.
Oh, wow.
So it cuts off at the knee or I can have it long and mermaid tail-ish.
Okay.
But those are probably the hardest ones.
We mentioned the Night Sister. It does seem you have several Star Wars cosplays. And of course, one of my favorites was actually the Krennic that you did for was it In Time for Rogue One or no?
Qi'ra.
Qi'ra.
I was like, how did it?
Yeah, it was
yes.
Qi'ra In Time for Solo.
So
was it actually in time for the premiere, or did you?
It was in time
almost?
for me to go to the movie premiere and watch it, but that one I forget because I don't have prints of that one yet.
Yeah.
I forget that one exists sometimes. That one was probably just as complicated, if not more complicated than Harley.
Yeah.
Because I made the entire thing based off a trailer image.
Sure.
So the scene in the trailer where Qi'ra is stepping off of the Falcon with that red cloak.
Yeah.
There is one picture of it, and I have stared at that image and put that together in time to just go sit there in the theater and wear it.
Wow.
But and it's a lot
crazy.
of at that point we didn't know what, you saw black and you're like, are those pants? Is it a skirt?
Yeah.
There's cutouts of her in skirts, but it didn't look like a skirt, and we figured out it was pants based on how she was walking. Yeah, that one was complicated in the I think I saw the trailer about 50 times, if not.
So you didn't even wait for the pre-premiere action figure image to come out?
So the any of her toys is actually done with the leather skirt, which she wears in like one scene in the movie.
Yeah.
And she wears those pants the entire movie, but none of her figures or anything else have the pants.
Wow. Okay.
So, no, it was one image. Just one. There was only one image with that epic cloak.
Yeah.
And I needed that epic cloak. And I probably made it more epic than it needs to be because I want to spin like a Disney princess.
Sure. I mean, why not? If you're putting the effort in. So.
I added extra panels, because I wanted to be able to spin in circles.
Very nice.
What it is.
Very nice. With as much variety in the cosplay as you've done, you also have quite a bit of photographic work that has gone with each of your different cosplays and many different varieties of photographs. So, of course, the thing that we like to ask many of our cosplay guests is, when it comes to photographers, what is your approach to it? Do you have a specific group of photographers that you continue to go back to? Do you kind of work with, ever-rotating group of, or how does that work for you?
So a lot of I work with several of the same photographers. David is, I'm dating him, so he takes a lot of my photos because he does that on the side too. But I have photographers I've worked with in the past, photographers I see at conventions, but I love adding variety to my shoots. I don't want to consistently shoot the same style. So working with new photographers and things like that is always something I'm open to. A lot of people will message me on different pages and things like that and be like, hey, I'm in Houston, because that's where I'm at. Sure. And they're like, can you shoot? And then we'll go shoot. All my Lara Croft photos was with a photographer that I met for the first time. Yeah. So all the ones I posted recently, and then we liked how his style was, so he actually was the same photographer I just shot my Mary Jane with. Okay. So it's a matter of finding the style and knowing which. Some photographers I have a really dark, grungy style. Yeah. So shooting MJ with them doesn't work. So it's a matter of placing what their style is and working with them too. They have concepts in mind, and I need to fit in with their concepts. So going to someone who has that dark, scary theme and being like, will you shoot my glamour, MJ, please? Doesn't work. So it's a matter of working with the ones.
Very nice.
Sorry, children in cute little costumes.
Well, that's always
costume ADD.
Well, that's always so much fun for these kind of small conventions. You get to see so much of that.
There is a little Poison Ivy who I have seen about 20 times because she's very excited. Yeah. And she keeps coming back to my table, and she's like, "You're me. I'm mini you." And that's amazing. That's all I needed in life.
That's amazing. Which actually brings me to my next question, which is, you've been to quite a few conventions, guest or just attending. What has been your favorite experience in cosplay at a convention?
So I actually had this conversation on a live feed the other day recently. I have a blue Mandalorian that is bright blue, and it's got white designs, and my theme was Hoth ice theme.
Oh, okay.
But I made it when Frozen came out, and everyone always looks at me and goes, "You're the Elsa Mando," and I'm like, no, I'm not. But I was walking through Dallas Fan Expo one day, and I just stepped off this elevator, and because my hair is so long, it doesn't fit in my helmet, and I like people to know I'm a female in the costume, so I had it braided, and it was sitting half out my costume, and this little girl, Elsa, comes running over, and she grabs her braid, and was like, "You!" And I'm like, "Oh, she thinks I'm Elsa." So I grabbed my braid, and someone snapped a photo of it, and then it became this thing where people edited it because I'm pointing at her hair, and they edited a thermal detonator in there and stuff like that, which was really funny. And I was just like, "Oh, do you want to build a snowman thermal detonator?" And
that's amazing.
So I had a lot of fun jokes with that, but she was so excited.
It is so much fun to be able to see the younger generation that's getting into the whole convention costume thing and how much fun they have with it.
We are actually going to Disney on vacation in September.
Nice.
And I'm going to do the whole Disney bounding thing. But apparently at Universal Studios, you can wear costumes. So when I get back on Monday, I have some Harry Potter costumes to finish so I can run around and be my inner child. But all the kids dress up, and and it's in time for Halloween for Disney.
Yeah.
So there's a Halloween night where I'm going to see all these kids in costume and debate whether I'm going to be a grown-up child and dress up on my vacation.
Oh, sure.
It's probably totally going to happen.
I do have to ask, with the table that you have set up, how often do you get the opportunity to be guests at conventions versus just attending, whether out of necessity or time restraints or whatever?
It depends on the convention. Smaller cons, I'm not a huge cosplay person, so smaller cons are much easier they're not looking for the bigger names, so
Sure.
I get a lot more table invites to there. But with me living in Houston, Dallas has a lot more cons and it's only 3 hours away, but I work full time, so having to balance full-time job at weekends and come into cons is hit and miss. So it's a matter of, yes, I can do that con, but I need to not do that one because of schedule. But then bigger cons, I'm like, okay, so if I'm not able to go as a guest, I'm still gonna go because I want that experience anyway.
Sure.
Or there's my little Ivy. Or I might have to I work with the 501st, so a lot of times if I'm not guesting, I will go and I'll be working the booth at some point and things like that. So
Awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
Very, very nice. So then, of course, the last thing that we always want to ask, as one of our big points for cosplayers, social media. Where can our viewers find you?
I am on Instagram as BritishPixie Cosplay. I'm on Facebook as BritishPixie Cosplay, and I think my Twitch is BritishPixie. I think I didn't add cosplay to that. I have a store envy from all my prints. That's also BritishPixie.storeenvy, something like that. Yeah, everything's pretty much, if you search British Pixie, I will probably come up. I don't really know if there's a whole lot of those, but British Pixie Cosplay on Instagram and Facebook is the best spots.
Very, very nice. Well, then if you are not already following her, you absolutely should,
And
because...
Victor needs his own Instagram, maybe.
Because, come on, this is just cool. So, until next time, this is Brad from Dallas Geek saying, see ya.